Hey Josh. Well, I've been busy today. Hi Mike, Jack. Um, yeah, I saw Jason's video as well. I'd already started before I saw his video. I dedicated today pretty much, well, this afternoon anyway. Completely reorganized my shop. I'll show you all soon around. Try to make it a little bit more cohesive. So I'll show you that shortly. In the meantime, I'm going to light up. I finally heard from. I heard back from Axminster today. Firstly, they've said that they'll take this back. And they've said, looking at my video, and I think they've also gone online and looked at my videos, and they've said that basically that whole contraption, then with the briar on the end of it, is basically much too long and much too heavy. It's not so much the weight even, but it is the weight, but it's not just the weight, it's the length of it. It's that pull down drag, which is basically giving it that Doppler effect and going out. It was just too heavy. So we'll see how it goes. So I'm using at the moment. I'm using the. This is a Record Power slightly lighter chuck, and this is the Rawcrafted. These are the drawers set number 2. So I've got 3 sets at the moment. That's drawers number 2. I'm hoping to get another set of small nose jaws, a bit like this, but much smaller. These things. And lighter to go on there, and then I'll put drawer set number 3 in, the new ones, and hopefully that won't be too heavy and not be too long either. I'm very hopeful that will be okay. And if it's not okay, then I'll carry on with this for now, and I'll see how it goes. Either I'll return drawers number 3, which I think is an option, or I'll upgrade my lathe. And I think over the next few days, I'm really going to be looking at the integrity of this lathe, the strength of it. Am I likely to want anything bigger in the future? I'm just not a believer in spending the money for the sake of it. I would, as I was saying the other day, had a bit of watching a bit of lathe porn, looking at various different sites, and some really lovely machines, which I'm very tempted to get one of them at least. But I've also pretty much made my mind up to stay out here rather than going inside. It just leaves me a lot freer to come and go as I please, and do whatever I need to do. I've done a little bit of work to keep Roland separated, although it's not absolute. I still need to get a proper door put in there, and then eventually completely clear out that back area and just make it more tidy, block any holes that are there. But at least I think I've got some degree of separation. So perhaps I'll give you a quick little tour. All right, so this area here is largely unchanged. I've just made it a little bit wider, so I've got a little bit more room over here. A bait won't help. Number one, I'm not interested in killing the thing, and number two, when that goes, the next one will come. I don't think that's going to cure the problem. So this is my my working area: hand sanding, the filing, drilling, small bits of drilling stems and that kind of thing. And there's the sander. And what I've done now is I've brought the extractor in, so I don't have to keep going in there. And I've been able to shorten the hose as a result, so I'm hoping the suction is better. I've taken about 1.5 meters of it off. I've got my heater now permanently fixed in place. I've got my sander on the bench. I've got my bandsaw on the bench, and I've turned a few bits and bobs over there, and I've put the lathe back on this bench where it was originally, if you may remember. I've got the doodah machine, the sharpening machine over there. Still got to find ways of storing things more efficiently. I've still got just bits everywhere. but at least hopefully we're in the right kind of, it's more logically laid out. I've relocated the grip here, Josh. Well, I won't hurt Roland as long as he doesn't encroach on my space, as long as he doesn't become invasive. I'm not looking to bother him at all, but if he bothers me, you know, that's life. I'll be as reasonable as I possibly can. Cayenne pepper, I didn't know that one. That's a new one on me. Where is that other cable? That's one. Let's see. I'd be quite happy if mine went next door. Starting to get cold in here again. Probably I've been working all afternoon, clearing this place out, moving stuff around, just shifting and installing that air extractor. That was heavy work. I had to get my son to help me. It weighs an absolute ton. Right, where's my ashtray? Yeah, I want to be honest. I want to get a dust filter as well. There's dust everywhere. I've cleared the bulk of it off the floor now as well. And I want to try and maintain it. I mean, I always say that, and I don't always manage, but I'm going to try. There is an attachment that one can get for the extractor hose, and you can turn it into a cleaner. But it's a really big hose, a bit bulky, and I don't really want to keep shifting it on and off. But I mean, I've got a regular vacuum cleaner here, so maybe I'll just do that. Haven't really smoked much today. I had a bit of a pinch in my throat. I had some special Latakia flake this morning, and that's about all I've had. And that's the first bit of Latakia I've had in ages. I didn't realize I had this out here. I've now got a little area with my tobaccos, which I've still got a couple more in the drawer. But this is 40th anniversary from 2019. Well, it's from the end of 17, isn't it? But it was opened in 19. It's got a really nice aroma. That's actually a very good idea, Josh. That's an excellent idea. I mean, I could do that with this hose. I can just lie it on the floor. But it will mean dust everywhere. When you sweep anything, any of this stuff, it will mean dust everywhere. The truth of the matter is, dust on the floor, I'm not that bothered by, because it does settle into, there's a carpet here, it does settle into it, and it just becomes a bit like the old-fashioned butcher shops used to be, if you remember them. I remember them when I was a kid. The old-fashioned butcher shops used to have sawdust all over the floor, presumably because of all the fats and oils and the bloods that they had running around. But it had such a distinct smell when you went into a butcher shop. One of my great uncles used to run a butcher shop. I always used to be fascinated. I used to be fascinated by butcher shops and by fishmongers. Always fascinated by any of those kind of places. I remember also around the times of festivals, Jewish festivals, so there always used to be a bit of a run on fresh produce, meat, fish, chicken, for people for their festival tables, would always have a little bit extra. So there used to be, before Passover every year, I imagine they still have it in certain areas around the world. They used to get a delivery of of live fish. So they used to have a lorry, and on the back was basically, instead of it being a lorry, it was a tank. It wasn't see-through or anything. It was just a tanker, essentially. It was a tanker, and it was full of, usually it would be either trout or salmon or a fish which would be called lesh. I don't know what would be called elsewhere, a very bony fish. And so they used to get this thing just delivered straight into the back of the fishmongers. And if you wanted a fresh salmon, they would just lift out the live thrashing salmon, put it down on the counter, whack it over the head. How many slices would you like, sir, madam? So that was something which I used to be fascinated by too. Just some of my memories. Aha, I see. I did not trim down this bit. Oh, I did. Still could do with a bit more. Cool. We jumped up to 36 quite quickly. It's been a long, tiring day today. Didn't sleep well at all last night. Maybe got 2 or 3 hours if I'm lucky. Didn't sleep well at all. So hopefully get a better night tonight. So just wondering whether to start a pipe or not. Making a pipe, that is, not smoking one. That's not necessary, Josh. Know the answer to that. Thing is, I'm behind on uploading my website. I've still got 3 pipes which haven't been seen yet on the website. Well, 2. That's very kind of you, Jack. Thank you. Somebody cares. Somebody loves me. Talk of the devil, James. I have a commission of a bent billiard to do, so I could do that theoretically. Make a start on it, I guess. Hello. You there now? Yeah, I suppose we could have some of the usual, some sesame. Yeah, and can you get me one of those nugget things? The chocolate covered nugget. And the small things in the little boxes. The white one covered in chocolate. And one maybe one halva, the usual one. Yeah. You want to get something? You think you find something that you might like? Okay, I'm sending you a $5. Bye. Thank you. Sorry about that. Bear with me half a tick. I think I have also a delivery coming from one of my suppliers. I should be getting some briar and some stems in tomorrow, all being well. Or the next day or two, anyway. Okay. Leo, hi Leo. Don't get you on here too often. Well, English and Balkans are nowadays pretty much synonymous. They're pretty much the same. People generally, it's basically an English mixture. Mixtures were generally English tobaccos which were unadulterated by flavorings, but were flavored by original aromatics, which were mostly from the Balkans. So you would have had Orientals, Turkish, Latakia, and then of course you had the Periques as well, which were not Balkans as such, but sometimes that was added. But originally it wouldn't have been. It would have just been the Balkan style tobaccos, which would have given aroma to English blends, which did not have any flavorings. So the flavorings were natural by virtue of the exotic tobaccos, many of which came from the Balkan blends. So it's all a bit of a hodgepodge nowadays. English blends generally, mostly because it's been adopted by Americans that way. English blends nowadays generally everything which is a mixture of Latakia and Balkan blends, which meaning Latakia and Orientals, generally tend to be called English blends, English mixtures, or Balkan blends. They're all kind of, it's a bit of a hodgepodge at the moment. So up to the 1970s, in the UK, it was illegal to have flavorings added into blends up until somewhere around the middle of the 1970s. And then they were allowed to, but now it's kind of gone back. Nowadays, aromatics here, they're kind of, I think it's illegal now to make aromatic tobacco here in the UK. I'm not sure. Something has happened again in terms of aromatics. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but we're kind of going back to that original status. So I'm smoking my some 40th anniversary in a pipe, which is a tribute to Jeff Graysick, who made the pipe of this shape, and he made it as a tribute to Jess Chonowitz. So lots of tributes going on. Kendall Black Cherry, when did that go up? Oh, right, I didn't see that. Okay, I'll have a look. Oh, right. It reminds me of Drop Bear Woodworks, Glenn. He used to have the 10-second reviews. Oh, I like it, and that was it. Yes, you did mention about the cherry tobaccos. I was surprised that you did, to be honest, but there you go. You've tried it now, so you know. The only cherry blend that I really liked was Cult Blood Red Moon, and nowadays I probably wouldn't like it so much. And also Cherry Smash from Boswell's. That's an interesting cherry flavor, actually. The one from Boswell's has got quite an acidic, quite a tart kind of flavor. I did get one from my own blend from the Danish Pipe Shop, which I didn't care for very much. Yeah, I have to be honest that I grew as a pipe smoker on Cult Blood Red Moon. That was one of my first tobaccos, and I smoked a heck of a lot of it. I learned how to smoke really on that tobacco. I used to be able to get it to smoke on a single bowl in a Savinelli 606, which has got quite a big bowl. I could go a couple of hours on a single bowl, just sipping away. I'm just going to sand the edges so I can see what the grain looks like. I'll be back in a tick. Oh well, Jeff, join the club. I'm on my 3rd week of quarantine at the moment. Although my son thankfully tested negative. He took a test yesterday. So at least he's no longer stuck indoors. Hey, Skip. Well, it is what it is. Just do the best that you can with what you're given, I guess, like everything in life. Even a dodgy match. I used to rave about these matches. With this thing, All right, let's get some work done. Hi, Cliff. Sure, I sharpened this yesterday. Hey, Simplex, how you doing? So this commissioner of this pipe, I can't remember which football or baseball or basketball or American football. I don't know which club it was, but it's basically he wanted something with orange. So you guys might be able to look that out. Orange and white is what he wanted. I'm giving him ivory, but still. Could be Tennessee, don't know. Clearly you're a fan. Not. You could all be right. I couldn't possibly say. Bulls sounds about right. It's all bull to me. The Bears. Oh, Cliff, I've got a pipe for you. Nice bit of green band. Little chubby billiard. See right down to the ground. Finished that one up yesterday. Gorgeous. Nice little green. Beautiful plumage. What machine? This? It's just a clamp, that's all it is. I could pretend it was something fancy, but it ain't. It's just a little clamp which makes it easy for me to hold something while I'm drilling it. How much for this one? If you're serious about it, Cliff, I'll give you a knockdown price. 150 quid. That's my 1-star range. It's more than 1 star. This is an easy 2, maybe a 3, but definitely a 2. I'll give it a 2 star, which is around the 180 regions. But there you're crapping. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. I'll remember that next time. I need to get my teeth done or something like that. I do not know. I'd have to see which ones they were, James. I don't know. I'm still behind on uploading, so I've still got 3 pipes to upload. One of them is on already. I've got 2 more. Pictures are all done. They're actually on the website. I just need to put a price on them and make it live. So we are almost there, but it's 150 for that pipe. I use it just to get it started, and then I put it into this vise. This is a proper bench vise, which I keep. I've got another one further down, but I keep this one next to me for doing little stuff like this. Sometimes if I'm doing a stem, I need a little bit more leverage. So I have to get the right amount of thing on it, pressure. Otherwise, when I drill through it, sometimes it just cracks the whole thing. That's pretty good. Buonasera a tutti. Watch a cock. How's it going? What I really could do without here, seeing as I am 50 years old, 51, is a lavvy. Desperate for a lavvy out here. What is a lavvy, pray tell? Well, James knows. Can you tell what it is yet? Lavvy, actually. L-A-V for Victor. V-Y. But it's the same thing. A water closet. Hello, PP. Actually, I can do this a different way. It don't matter if you're black or white. Something along those lines, anyway. Indians, Josh. Put some away from me. Although I actually had a very nice supper tonight. Your one, James. I will let you know in good time. I'll try to remember to send you a message beforehand. A cob. Hey, Patrick. Hi, Kev. Hey, volunteer, how you doing? Simplex got to get. You got to get. When the go gets get, he's got to get going. I've got a rough out. All right, next stage is I'm going to cut around the shape, and then I'll move you over to the lathe. To be honest with you, I've got the message through, and I forget who it was. He's had a pipe off me before, but I forget who it was. That's my memory, as you know. Nothing new there. It's, as I said, somebody who wanted orange and white on the stem. So if that was you, then say so. So at least I know who you are, and you can comment as we go along. It is you, volunteer. Okay, cool. Okay, well, you're up. Hey, Mike, Game Piper is in the house. Here's your orange and white. Quidditch, no less. But one of the reasons why I moved away from here originally was the vibrations. Essentially, I need to bolt this workbench down to the floor. At the moment, it's secured to the soft wall. Sorry about that, I didn't see it had frozen. Now, I'm on the sharpener, I'm trying to get a sharp edge. I'm still getting the hang of this sharpening machine. Razor sharp edge, sometimes not. And the whole point of these is that it should be exactly the same every time. So I'm still getting the hang of it. Really doesn't feel that sharp. I used to get a sharper edge on the grinder. I'm obviously not doing it properly, but yeah, you'll have to forgive me every so often if I go off screen. I am running a workshop here, so I can't be watching it the whole time. It's a pretty dull edge. Not happy with that at all. Ah, I thought so. I thought I heard a crack. Don't you just love being a pipe maker? Back to the drawing board. Well, the lip on that stem had a crack in it. I looked at it before and I couldn't see anything, but I looked at it again just now and there was a hairline crack in it. I can't use it, so I've got to start again. With a stem anyway. I don't know if you'll see it, but there's a little hairline there anyway. Bottom line is, can't use it. Sun gun. I don't have a computer out here. I wouldn't be able to keep moving a computer to different positions in here. I run these live streams off a phone, Daniel. But yeah, I do need to beef up the internet connection at some point, but yeah, at some point. No poo, Sherlock. Well, I've got an extender out the back of the house, and that's what I'm running off. But you know, however good they say these things are, they're never perfect. You know, even in the house, I get connection drops the whole time. That's just life with internet connections, even on a hard cable. That's a very good idea. I'm going to go and see the Queen for a second. I'm going to top up some coffee. I'll see you soon. Hello, Zolly. Hello.
Remember, there's no buses from Balderspring to Hendon.
Why?
I remember somebody put it on the group. I don't know, some roadworks or something, so there's no buses. They have to walk. So
So you'll have to call me if that's a problem.
you got tired.
Middle of a flip. What?
Have you got a time out?
I can see it being okay. Trust me. Huh? I'm not. I'm in a bad mood. You tried going to the toilet with the long thing on. Whatever.
I need one packet.
Nobody eats with one packet's enough.
It's that small one with 2 little 4 chicken chunks. We need.
It don't matter if you're black or white.
I need to get in more of these days. More of these.
I think they might do them in what?
Yeah,
Perfect timing. It's fine. No problem. Jeez, you lot. Flipping kindergarten. Thought you lot were mature. Sesame Snap, anybody? Mmm. Nothing like a bit of sugar to get you back on track. He started it. No, he started it. Mmm. Roland can't get in. I've blocked him off. The extractor's in here now. For those of you who didn't see it, and some rearranging, the extractor's back in here. All the machines are on the bench. The lathe on that bench now, back to where it used to be. Vibrations and all. Pipe mud, yeah. Anyway, I told you I was going to see the Queen. I would not offend Her Majesty with such things. It will only be with puny matters. Whoa! Whoa! We're having a good day, people. Today's a good day. Sounds good. Can fit as many as I want. There she blows. Nice and clean. I think I'll glue it up and then continue my pipe. The smoking one, that is. Josh, Do not respond to James's comment. Thank you. For someone so grumpy, you're particularly infantile. So what was for supper, Josh? Not necessarily, Daniel, but my ones will, because they're all drilled the same way. Pastaroni, rigatoni with pepperoni and cheese and spaghetti sauce. They're called 9mm, Daniel, but they're not always 9mm. They'll accept a 9mm filter, which is usually about 7.5 or 8mm in diameter. So it depends. If you're cutting a stem yourself, then it can be any diameter as long as it'll house a filter. So if it's a hand-cut stem, then they will not fit one to another, no. Yeah, exactly. It can be anything at all. Excuse me, that's naughty. So for instance, if you've got a Dunhill 9mm, chances are the tenon's going to be about 12mm, something like that. 11.5, 12mm. See, that's 7.7mm. 7.7mm for a 9mm filter. So in actual fact, if you're hand cutting a stem, you could actually make it really, you could make the shanks much narrower than I do or that factories would do, because they would also use these tenons for the most part. Josh, in all the years we've known each other, I still haven't had the honor of meeting Mrs. Grump, but I suppose you haven't had the honor of meeting Mrs. LCS either, so there you go. There is some movement there, Daniel, but the inside of the tenon is not 10mm or whatever, it's less. I've not worked with these orange stems before. That's another dud. Jeez. It's number 3. If that doesn't go, I'm going to have to move to one of these stems. I hope that's okay, volunteer. Do you like this? I can go straight to this if you like it. I'll still put the white band on it. I don't mind doing that again, so just let me know. I don't mind trying it again, but let me know what you want me to do. It's definitely been one of those days. I was hoovering up the whole workbench before, and before I could even stop it, it grabbed one of my lighters. It was a throwaway lighter, but straight up the hoover. So when I get to change it, I'm going to have to cut it open, because 2 things went in there. I can't remember what the second thing is. Might have been a stem. Hey, B-Dog. Some people are bored of these lives. I had a message this morning from somebody saying, same old, every single day. I simply answered to him that it works well. In the lockdown, people are at home, they're not going out, and it's just nice to be able to get together. I could have answered him, don't like it, go elsewhere, but I didn't. Nobody's forcing you to watch it. People get used to something, and they get to expect it. I'm doing this while I work, and I don't get paid for it. I don't monetize my channel. I'm not asking for any money. I'm not asking to monetize it. You don't like it, don't watch it. But you get to a point where people get so used to it, they expect a certain thing. And like before, and I don't mean this badly, but I went off the screen for a bit, and people, well, where is he? I'm running a workshop here. I've got other things around the room to do. I'm not going to move the camera every single time I get off my backside, So either you like it or you don't. Simple as that. I'm a bit wild today, a bit tired. You have to forgive the ranting. No problem, Mike. You send over the equipment and I'll set it up. How about that? I'll have, let's say, 4 GoPros, the latest model, please, with grips which will go either on the wall or from the ceiling. A whole sort of multitude of grips so I can cover everything. No problem. Nothing too low, indeed. It's 40th anniversary, not really enjoying it. Life's too short to not enjoy a bowl of tobacco. Wouldn't it be nice? I didn't enjoy that bowl of it. No, I'm not enjoying McClelland's tobaccos at the moment anyway. I'm really off most of my tobaccos. My palate's all over the place at the moment. And the vanilla cream is just about okay because it's got such a strong flavor, but I'm really I'm off most of my tobacco at the moment. check out my size 9s. Oh. They are eco-friendly, yes. Best shoes in the business, Echoes. I've only been wearing Echoes now for maybe 5 or 6 years. I'm just tired. Broken 2 stems. That's all. I got about 2-3 hours sleep last night. I just couldn't sleep. I was lying in bed, not sleeping. You see how dusty my boots got today? Clearing this room out. Just another crappy Monday. Broken 2 stem day. All right. Any new cigars I want to try? Well, there is. I've got some on their way over to me at the moment. I've got some New World cigars, which I'm looking forward to trying. So yeah, but nothing that really grabs my attention in a major way. If something ever happens, you know, you guys are so positive and encouraging. You seem to be ever the pessimist, James. Maybe you got COVID. If anything ever happens. But maybe I should take a test. Paul Aranaga. Well, I've got one single Sobresalientes left, which is I think from 2015. I used to really enjoy those cigars because they were early on in my cigar smoking, and they were mild. I wonder what it's like now. The cigars that I smoked quite a few of, I've got a few just one cigar left, so that's one of them. I've got a Montecristo 80th anniversary. Well, I haven't had one since then, since 2016 or 2015, 2016, something like that. I smoked quite a few of those, but I've got one single one left, and I can't quite bring myself to smoke it. I've got a Mag 56 limited edition A. Chapman. And a bunch of other single regional editions. Oh, and I've got a Mag 48 as well, which was very difficult for me to get hold of. I smoked those quite early on, and then I really, really liked them, then I couldn't find them anymore. And then I found it. It was in the Bulgari Cigar Lounge, which is run by the Sahakians in the Bulgari Hotel. And they had them, charged an absolute fortune for them, but I bought, I think, 3 or 4, and I've left one. I've got a Montecristo Sublime, which is the 2008, the Sublime Vitola, and they're worth a lot of money. I've still got that Saudi Kingdom cigar to smoke, the SKA cigar. Yeah, the Mag 56 were very nice. Again, a mildish cigar. The Monty 520, if I have, I've got one. If I have one. No, they haven't. They're not open to the public yet. We're all in lockdown. If it's the 2012, then I think I do have one. Yeah, I've got. I think I've got a 2005 limited. Or is it a 2006 possibly Montecristo? It's a smaller cigar. I've got 2008, 2010, 2010. I think I have a 2012. And I've got a box, I think, of the Dantes, the 2016. A box of 10. I may have started it already, I can't remember. I have one box of the Ramon Allones Petit Bellicoso from 2012. I smoked a shed load of those when they were still available in the shops. And I managed to keep just one box, and I'm so tempted to smoke them. That was my go-to cigar for a good while. It's not hype, it's a matter of flavor. The limited edition cigars tend to have darker wrappers, closer to Maduro wrappers, and if that's your thing, then you like them. They're supposed to have more aged leaf in them, but I generally prefer the regular line Habanos cigars with age, as opposed to the limited edition. Not always. Some of the limited editions are stonking, fantastic. The Robusta Supremos from Cohiba was just out of this world. The Trinidad Topaz, I've got one left of those. Also very, very nice. Not as good as the Supremos, in my opinion. Hoyo de Monterrey, the 2007 was so-so. I've actually got an old Trinidad Fundadores with the old band, one single one, which I can't quite bring myself to smoke, but that smells amazing. The aroma on that is awesome. Yeah, I've got a box of the Ramon Allones 2019 as well. I haven't started the box because I've still got a couple of singles which I'd bought separately. I wouldn't smoke them yet, Jack. They're okay. I found that the first half was better than the second half. I didn't find it to be great. And if you can hold off from smoking them, I would leave them for a couple of years if you can help it. How many cigars do I have? I haven't the foggiest idea. I haven't got a huge collection. I mean, I honestly don't know. Maybe somewhere between 150 and 200 cigars, something like that. Interesting thing is that I find that Habanos are playing around a little bit because the Cohiba, the limited edition 2019, or was it 18? What's it called? The Pyramides. Come on, Jack. Talisman, beat you to it. The Talisman. So that one came out in 2019, I think. The Cohiba limited edition, and for some reason they were still producing them in 2020 with a 2019 band on it, which I thought was very naughty. James, I'll send you some Cubans, okay? When I get your package, hopefully your return address will be on there. I'll do my very best to remember, but if I don't feel embarrassed, remind me. Unless you mean you want to go to Cuba and smoke a Cuban. I don't know. That I can't help you with. Ouch. No. Well, for a start, I don't know why they can't sort out their rolling. They're still not as consistent, anywhere near as consistent as New World cigars. But you know, it's all government controlled. So what do you want from a communist government? Well, dictatorship rather than government. Why can't I send you, James? Evening, Dave. Oh, definitely Cubans, Daniel. Even though they won't be as well made as the Milanios. But it would be a hard choice because the Milanios are excellent. They really are very, very good. Although I don't have much faith in the Cigar Aficionado magazine's opinions, but every so often I'll try and smoke their top cigar. I did that with the Andalusian Bull, and that was a load of bull. I really didn't see the whole hype about that cigar. I didn't enjoy it. It was too big, too hard to smoke, and I just didn't think the flavors were that great. Well, if that happens, if prices go up, that's fine. I'll buy New World cigars. There's enough New World cigars out there to enjoy. Although I prefer Cubans, obviously, but I'll be quite happy to smoke the ones that I like, the non-Cubans. I'm pretty much doing the same things I do with pipe tobacco. Every so often, if I make an order, I don't order a load. I just buy 1 or 2 boxes of 10. I don't usually buy boxes of 25. It's too much money. So I usually buy boxes of 10, and I'll sometimes buy the same ones one after another every few weeks, and just build up my humidor that way. I don't know, Daniel. Some people are cynical, and maybe true. I don't know that the magazines have to pander to the people who advertise in their magazines, but they claim not to. They claim that all the tests are done blind. So who knows? I'm inclined to think that there is some, at least, objectivity. The guys who runs the guy who runs it, the guy who owns it, Marvin, is it Shankin, something like that? He seems to be a stand-up guy, and I would hope that they have some scruples and some standards. Yeah, I mean, that would be the obvious thing to say, that the ads do influence it, and it's very possibly true. I don't know. I think I actually have tried the Double Hero, and I don't think I was a fan, but I don't recall how it was. It would have been a long time ago. Is that La Flor Dominicana? LFD is, isn't it? I would say the opposite, Daniel. If a cigar manufacturer wins top place 3 years in a row, then there's a reason for it. I don't think any magazine would have the cojones to do that if it wasn't genuine, because it would be so obvious for people to say that it's fixed. It would be too obvious. People would just laugh. And although everybody has a different palate, you will always find a significant amount of people who will like a cigar if it's very highly rated. So if it's fixed and they put a cigar which doesn't deserve to be up there, then people would see that, pretty much. So there's obviously enough people who trust it because they buy the magazine. Otherwise they wouldn't. Well, I'll sit here with you for another few minutes. I'm not continuing the pipe tonight. so we can just chat, talk about cigars, pipes, whatever you want. I'm open to any discussions you want. I'm going to leave the pipe for now. Continue tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, that's fair enough that they don't have that many Cubans in the magazine. That makes sense. It's got to have a captive audience. But they do have still a fair amount of Cubans, and they are higher up. They are usually quite high up the list because, I mean, Marvin Shanken, he likes Cubans. I mean, that's what he smokes most of the time. No worries, James. Yes, I did, Mike. I will get back to you on that. Did I make a decision about the Mazda? Well, I haven't driven the thing for I don't know how many weeks, but at the moment I'm holding on to it. You're entitled to your opinion, Daniel. They don't pay for the reviews. They pay for adverts. They don't pay for the reviews. The reviews are done by the magazine. I just don't have the head for it tonight to carry on. I'm too tired and I'm a bit frustrated, so it's just doesn't make sense. I'm just going to sit back and relax. Yes, Sir Daniel, it's called YouTube, where you can go to Pipe Magazine online. There's lots of, I mean, obviously there was there was Pipe and Tobacco, but that's gone now. Good stuff, Matt. The leather-covered Zippo, I actually won in a charity auction. It's a Zippo which is covered by Kraken Leather. They do leather products like ashtrays. I got a bit of a tickle. So it was run to raise funds for somebody whose workshop had got destroyed in one of the storms in the US. And my bid won. I think I paid $50 for it. It's a regular Zippo with it was a pipe Zippo, I think. Or maybe not a pipe one, I can't remember. I change them out anyway all the time. I swap them between different ones. And it's got a nice leather covering with the nice stitching on the outside. It's really nice. It's got a picture of like an octopus is their logo, so I don't know what that means. And the Kraken. It probably is Lovecraft. Currently, my hobby is Tabakiana. I've had different hobbies in the past, but currently it's Tabakiana. I don't really have any other hobbies. At my stage in life, I got too many things going on to have time for that many hobbies. So I do. Thank you, Mike. Yeah, that would actually be as well quite a serious contravention of Jewish law as well. If I was to eat a reptile or a insect, it's a very big no-no in the world of kosher. I guess it's one of the reasons why we don't eat shellfish, all that kind of stuff, because they're basically the insects of the sea. Yeah, let's hope so. It could be that they're a dodgy group of stems. I honestly don't know. They were no oysters, no. They were like an old stock, no longer produced stock. So maybe there's a reason why they were no longer produced. The Bible is quite prescriptive about what we can and can't eat. So when it comes to animals, we can only eat animals which have split hooves and that chew the cud. So we can have cows, lambs, or sheep, but not so much sheep, but more lambs, because we don't generally slaughter anything over, I'm not sure what the age is, but it's fairly young. So we don't get older meat like mutton and stuff like that. We don't usually get. No bacon. A pig has split hooves, but it doesn't chew the cud. It has one of the signs, but not both. And with fish, we can only eat fish which have fins and scales. You have to have both, fins and scales. And birds, generally speaking, we have chicken, turkey, duck. That's about it. You're absolutely right, James. You know nothing about the Jewish faith. That is so cool, Dave. I haven't been to Williamsburg for a long, long time. Probably about 20 odd years, more. Well, Jesus is the foundation of Christianity. It's essentially where Jesus you're talking about, not Jesus. That's Jesus Lopez. You know, yeah, so Jesus was the beginning of Christianity. So clearly, the Jewish faith doesn't believe in Jesus. Jesus. What's the best part of London to visit? I don't know, Heathrow Airport. Well, if it was down to me, I would say St James's. Your nan was Jewish, married your granddad. Well, if your mother was born from that marriage of your grandparents, then you are Jewish, according to Jewish law. There's a great series on YouTube. I forget the name of the guy. He just did a fantastic series on the Jewish areas in America. Phenomenal. You really got to see it. Let me see if I can find it. Let me find his channel. Highly recommend it if you want to get a little bit of an introduction to Hasidic Judaism in America anyway. You got to watch this series. He does lots of different communities, not just Jewish communities, but he's worth watching. I recommend him to all of you because he's very good at what he does. He started his channel not so long ago. He's already got a high. Okay, his channel is Peter Santanello, spelled Santenello. Peter Santanello. Peter Santanello. It's not focusing very well. It's the FaceTime camera, so you won't see it. He's got stuff on Iran at the moment, but he's all over the place. I highly recommend that channel, not just for the Jewish aspects, but for all the communities that he visits. See you, Matt. All the best. Paul, it really depends on how how it comes from your grandmother. As I say, if your mother is a daughter of that Jewish grandmother, then by Jewish law you're Jewish. That's very cool, Dave. From your dad. Okay. Yeah, so that wouldn't make you Jewish then. The purpose of a cap, I don't know if there's what the spiritual aspects of it, but the basic understanding is that to know that you've always got something higher than you. It's a signature of the religion. It sort of earmarks you as a Jewish person, as a servant of God, and no matter how you are, whatever situation you're in, there's something just that little bit higher than you, and that reminds you that you're always under God. Yeah, Jewish religion is interesting. Other religions are also interesting. You know, I think it's a good thing for people to believe in something. Hey Gary, you do tend to lose people when you start talking religion, but I'm not saying that's where you're going, Gary. Just saying it. But I think it's no matter which religion you're a member of. I think it's a good thing to believe in something. Are there higher ranks in the Jewish faith? What do you mean by that? In which respect? Cheers, Gary. Didn't mean you in particular. Don't worry. Time for another sesame snap. Well, certainly there are rabbis and there are scholars, but they're not what we would call a different rank. You would respect them because they're leaders of the community, but there's no class system as such. Everybody's equal. There is no difference from one human being to another human being, and there's no difference between me and you. We're all human beings equally under God. It's how you lead your life that's important. That our main task in life is to be an upstanding human being and to be good to other people. Extra pint high. You know, there's extremists in every religion. There's always factions that take things a stage further. And certainly there are certain elements who feel that they need to prepare for it, but there is nobody who could bring the Messiah. The Messiah comes when God says the Messiah comes. That's our belief. Obviously, how we behave has an effect on that, we believe. But them preparing to break ground on the third temple won't make the slightest bit of difference. I don't know what the core symbol is, but I'm assuming it's a stamp of, it's a seal of kashrus. It's a seal to say that the item is kosher, perhaps. I don't know what COR means, but maybe it's court of the rabbinate, possibly, which is essentially an organization. Each town has their own organizations which supervise the making of food and to ensure that it's kosher. So loads of communities will all have their own different stamps with rabbis that they recognize and trust and respect. There's a whole system for that in each community to ensure that that kosher food is available. There's a lot of intricacies in the religion, and when you grow up in the religion, it just becomes de facto. It's what you do. It's how you're brought up. But when you have somebody who returns to the religion, say somebody who just decided to become an atheist or agnostic or even practice a different religion, and then decides to come back and become reformed, let's say, and to become a practicing Jew, it's very hard because the intricacies, if you haven't been brought up, there's so many intricacies, it can be very confounding. Yeah, absolutely, Boris. Absolutely. Knowing about other religions and other organizations and other practices, call it habits if you want, whatever it might be. It's good to know about other people and respect other people's ways of life. I don't usually sort of bring up religion on my channel. If somebody asks, I'm more than happy to talk about it. I don't bring it up because I have no wish to ram it down people's throat. I am what I am, you are what you are, and it has no bearing. The Jewish faith is not evangelical. It doesn't go out and recruit people to the faith. If somebody's sincere and wants to become Jewish, they can by converting, but we don't go out and recruit people to the faith as some other religions do, because it's not an easy commitment to take on. We just take every Saturday. I'm off from Friday night to Saturday night every week. I'm sure you'll have noticed that by now. Because it's my Sabbath. I don't use a phone. I don't use anything electronic on the Sabbath. So I don't go online. I don't use a phone. I don't operate anything electric on the Sabbath. We can utilize something if it's been turned on before, so a light or the oven, that kind of thing, as long as it's been switched on before the Sabbath, it's fine. Within certain constraints, but yeah, it can be quite confusing and quite a challenge. The usage of silverware and dishware, it's not so much silverware, it's just dishes. We keep a separate, if you're Orthodox, then you keep your milky and meaty products separate. So for instance, in my kitchen, I have two sinks, one for meaty, one for milky. No, I don't drive my car either on the Sabbath. Hi Phil, is what true, Daniel? Oh, sorry, I was just reading your last message. Yes, we don't believe in the New Testament. the Jewish religion, yes, there is a concept of heaven and hell, but the hell in the Jewish religion is not the fire and brimstone that is traditionally thought of. The devil standing there with a burning red hot poker to stick up your backside. That's not our belief in what hell is. I can't tell you what it is. I'm not qualified for that or learned enough. But it's obviously on a spiritual realm. Well, the Bible is God's word, and we believe that's the Old Testament. And in the Old Testament and the Scriptures, it says that God's word will never change. So, bringing along a new Bible, a new interpretation, to us is blasphemous, almost. Not even blasphemous, it's not valid to us. But for a huge swathe of the Earth's population, it's what they stand by, it's what they believe in. And good for them. I think it's great that people have something to believe in. Put it this way, again, I'm not here to be evangelical. I'm not here to tell you, to persuade you one way or the other that Jews are right or Christians are right. That's not what I'm here for. But my position, I can just tell you, is that the Jewish faith, basically, in essence, always says, go back to the Bible. Why it's accepted generally, and accepted by Christians and Muslims, that the 5 books of Moses were given at Mount Sinai. So all the deistic religions believe in one God, except Islam believes that God turned away from the Jews and gave a new book of rules, if you like. The can't think of the word now. Can't remember what the Muslim Bible is now. Quran, that's the one. So, Quran, thank you, Josh. Yeah. So the Quran, they believe that's basically the new sort of set of rules or laws or whatever was transmitted to Muhammad, and that's their belief. And Christians believe that a new set of rules was given to Jesus. The Jews believe, why go to Yeah, Phil, I think I'd agree with what you said about nobody having the monopoly. I don't claim to have the monopoly. I just practice what I practice. I don't claim to be any different or any better than anybody else. Nobody can prove anything 100%. It's my faith. It's what I believe in. If somebody believes in Jesus or in Muhammad, good. That's good. It's really important, learning about. Well, I think it's very, very important in formative years to really have a strong foundation of your own religion, and then later on in life to have a good respect for all other religions. you should have good respect for all other religions at any stage of your life. But in terms of having a foundation in your faith, assuming you want to, you belong to a faithful family, and it's really good to have a strong foundation in your faith. And then, when you grow up and you see other faiths, that you have absolute respect and not disdain. Do not consider yourself to be holier than thou, better than anybody else. Just be humble and practice your own to the best of your ability. Just worry about yourself. If a person passes away on the Sabbath, then they will hopefully get buried on Saturday night after the Sabbath. They wouldn't be buried on the Sabbath. In the Jewish religion, in Islam, they're actually stricter than we are in this. They have to be buried in an ideal situation on the same day. Whereas in Judaism, you do your utmost to bury them as quickly as possible. So if you can do it the same day, that's ideal. But if it has to be the next day or the day after that, as an example, if somebody passes away and their next of kin is overseas and can't get there in time for the funeral, they'll delay it. Wouldn't usually delay it more than a day or two maximum. The Jewish religion has very, very strict rules about respecting the dead. Very, very strict rules about that. The body of a dead person is absolutely sacrosanct in certain respects, and it must not be violated. And I don't mean in a physical way, but in a respectful way. It mustn't be disrespected in any way, shape, or form. Every care is taken to basically we believe that the process of the soul's ascendance to heaven can't commence until the body is buried. And then there's various stages after that. There's the 7 days of mourning, there's the 30 days of mourning, and then there's a year's mourning. And each of those stages, we believe the soul ascends higher and gets more at peace in each of those stages. So disrespecting a dead person, number one, is very painful to the soul, and not burying the person when you can is also very painful to the soul, and you're causing a lot of spiritual pain to the soul. So every effort is done to bury somebody as quickly as possible. I would agree with that 100%, Philip. God has a plan for every person and every blade of grass, and everything that exists on this world. No worries, Daniel. As the Beatles said, roll up for the magical mystery tour. Roll up for the magical mystery tour. And that's what we're all on. All our lives, we're on a magical mystery tour. Josh, your humour is so full of poo tonight. Lul indeed, Paul. Okay, folks. Anything else you want to ask before I check out? Sorry, Josh, that's just stupid. Now you're really scraping the bottom of the barrel. Well, the bottom anyway. I think that joke came from Uranus, as opposed to anyone else's. Remember that pipe? Thank you, Patrick. Yeah, two Jews walk into a bar and they say, "Oh, that hurt." You pop on, Phil. Knock yourself out, boy. I'm going to pack up over here. All right, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully a little bit earlier than today. We'll get this pipe back on the road. Volunteer piper is obviously not here, but I would like to know if he wants me to go straight to that or to try stem number 3. All right. Thanks everybody for joining and putting up with my frustrations. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Dave Tuttle. Thank you, Boris. Thank you, Chris. And everybody else. Stabby, hello. Goodbye. Thank you, Jack. I wish you a wonderful evening. Hopefully catch you tomorrow.